Hello everyone and welcome to another rousing episode of Spilling the Tea Tuesday. My name is Flossie and I am a mindset coach. If you would like one-on-one coaching with me, links will be in the description box below, as well as links for my SP course, which is on sale. It's basically nearly 10 hours of content. It's almost like 3 courses in one because it's becoming a master of manifesting, becoming the best version of you, and manifesting your SP and creating a long-lasting relationship. It is on sale for $259, or you can do a payment plan. $55 down, $85 every 2 weeks. Not a bad deal. You can get started for 55 bucks. Okay, so before we get started, hold on. Got my calendar. My calendar, which is hard when I'm manipulating this laptop over here, but we'll do it anyway. Oh, hot damn. Yeah, we're getting our fucking manifestations, period. Deck the fucking halls. Period. Why? Because we're getting our fucking manifestations. Yay. Facts. So, as usual, grab a chair, take a seat, because you know I'm going to be dropping deets about manifestation. Of course, I made a post where I asked you guys what you wanted to talk about, and I picked the topics most interesting or most requested. And as you know, I usually go rapid style, so that's the way that we're going to do today. And here we go. I had a bunch of questions about SPs. So some of them are kind of lengthy. You'll have to bear with me as I read them. I'll just try to do the best that I can. Flossie, how not to be disappointed when SP texts you after some period of no contact but doesn't ask to see you or doesn't say what you have affirmed. Thank you. You have to look at what you got, which is movement, which means that what you're doing is working because your SP has contacted you after a period of no contact. Sometimes people get their full manifestation in all at once. Sometimes they don't, because you have assumptions about your specific person, beliefs, thoughts, whatever, however you want to look at it, but you have assumptions about that person that vary. Maybe you see contact as easier. You have less resistance to that. You don't have as strong of an assumption that they're not going to contact you as they are to telling you that they love you. You have to overcome whatever assumptions it is that you have about them, being romantic, being committed to you. For you to get that manifestation, your dominant thought has to at least be in line with that manifestation. And it could be that your dominant thought isn't in line with that yet. Plus, you don't know what has to move to get that manifestation. So when you get movement, be like, yay, I got fucking movement. That means this shit is mine. It belongs to me. I'm getting it, period. Hardcore facts. Don't be worried about whether you have everything all at once. Stay focused and be like, it's working. I'm going to keep going. And you keep affirming and persisting until what you want hardens into fact. Not until you feel like it. Not until he just texts you. It's like when you've got it and it's hardened into fact, that's when you stop affirming for it. But this is a lifestyle. You're always going to keep your mind in line with what you want to experience. Facts. My brother keeps hating on my SP and telling everybody how much he hates him, how to fix it. Ignore the 3D constantly, but it's kind of still affects my mind. When you have a situation like this, where people in your 3D reality are not being kind to your specific person or they don't like them, I would affirm things like, everyone is so happy we're together. Everyone approves of our relationship. Everyone respects our relationship. And then you have to see your brother as being kind to your specific person, or at least say having nice things. You can also affirm my SP and my brother are best friends, or my SP and my brother have an amazing, great relationship. But whenever your brother says anything, you got to stick it in the trash where it belongs and just keep focused that your brother likes your SP, that he always has positive things to say about your SP. Revise it on the spot. If you're not able to do that, the revision on the spot, and just sit there and think that your brother said something nice, be like, that's old story. That's how my brother was. My brother now thinks that my SP is amazing, and just keep affirming and persisting in that, and your brother will conform. When I'm saying my affirmations, sometimes I feel super confident and know that SP will contact me. And other days I feel so low and sad and start doubting my manifestations. How to fix this? A lot of times it is because when people feel this way, it is because their 3D is not in line with what they're affirming. And they're looking at the 3D for confirmation. As you affirm for your self-concept, as you step into your powers, being the operant power of your reality, affirming I'm a master, manifesting, I always get what I want, everything always works out for me. As you start to form those assumptions, you will worry less about what you see in the 3D, because you will start to embody the person that has what they want. You will start to be like, yeah, that shit belongs to me, period. And you will not feel the loss of confidence, because you will be confident, because your self-concept will be so high that you will stay confident. So that is typically how I tell people to deal with that, is start stepping into your power. Every single morning, you're going to affirm for your manifestation abilities. You're going to affirm self-concept. Yeah, every man loves me. Every man, wants to be with me. I can literally have any man that I want. Men are beating down my door to be with me. I'm wife material, girlfriend material. All men know it. And you stay focused on those things. And that is how you have less doubt for your manifestation. Also, manifest other stuff. Manifest other stuff. Make a list. It's kind of fun. Manifest those things. Check them off. You'll feel more powerful. How to ignore the 3D when your SP is with you 8 hours a day at work. It's so hard for me not to keep looking for movement when the dude is a desk away or someone else asked about living with your specific person. It can be more difficult for some when you literally work next to, live with your specific person and they're acting like Chewbacca. So what I tell people to do is you literally can just start to ignore the 3D. Make peace to a certain extent with the 3D. Write your SP an FU letter. Say everything you wish you could say to their face, how you feel for manifesting it, and then burn it. If you feel like you can't do that, your resistance to doing that, to writing the FU letter, is even more proof that you need to do it. Because when you have an emotional attachment with what your 3D looks like, this strong, like, I need it, I'm desperate for it, my 3D isn't matching, I'm going to freak out. Reducing your emotional attachment helps you to deal with what you see in the 3D. So does affirming for your self-concept, because when you affirm for your self-concept, you care less about what's going on in the 3D because you feel within you that you're powerful, that everyone loves you, and you don't need people in your 3D to validate you. You actually lose the absolute, I don't know what you want to call it, but you lose that strong need to have someone else validate you because you know that everything comes from within. And it's just, sometimes it gets hard to explain stuff like that, but it's just, there's a change that you go through when your self-concept is high and you start embodying the person who's a master at manifesting, or you start embodying the God of your reality, that you're the God of your reality. As far as being with this person all the time, I'd be revising stuff on the spot. I would be affirming in my mind, even no matter what they do. As you write the FU letter, you can tap, your emotions out with EFT. You can do the Ho'oponopono. As you do those things and reduce the emotion and the anxiety that you feel around the situation, and you get your self-concept up, you will care less and less about what your specific person is doing in your 3D reality. You'll care less. You actually will. Is it normal for your situation with an SP to get worse after you begin working on self-concept? So this person was talking about how people experience their SP breaking up with them, ghosting them, stop contacting them. This person also said that another coach suggested that it's okay and should be seen as a gift and evidence that our self-concept affirmations are working, that maybe the person you want to manifest isn't right for the new you, and the breakup or whatever is a bridge of instance to meet someone new. And then they say, what if you don't want to move on to someone new? I thought we get to decide who we want, and they change as we change. Someone else commented, my situation exactly. I found when I focused on self-concept, that's when things went down with my SP, and it totally confused her. I have several thoughts about this that I'm just going to put out there. Number one, I think that this happens to some people because when you work on your self-concept and you switch the roles of where people were, I have to kind of move my laptop because that's where I'm reading all the questions off of instead of paper. So before you started affirming self-concept, your SP was up here and you were down here. You were looking up at them. They seemed unattainable. They seemed like they were above you. You were having desperation, need, and lack. But as you raise your self-concept and you switch the dynamic, whether you're up here or whether it's a little more equal, they're not on the pedestal anymore. You are. Having said that, when you raise your self-concept and you value yourself more and you're no longer in a state of lack, need, and desperation towards your specific person, you start to realize what your worth is and what behaviors you will and will not put up with. And so as you are affirming, everyone treats me with love and respect, I'm always loved, cherished, and chosen, everyone loves me, I feel more loved than I ever have been. As you are affirming those things, you are going to find that the people in your 3D reality who are not treating you that way, they're going to start to move because they have to conform to your new thoughts and assumptions about you. You're also going to realize that you are no longer willing to be treated a certain way anymore because you're not. When your self-worth gets higher, your self-confidence gets higher, and you don't have that desperate, needy, clingy energy to put up with how someone's going to treat you if it's not how you want to be treated, you are changing. And all change comes from within. So as you change and now, you know, your self-concept is better, what you're willing to accept from other people changes. And so, yeah, there are times that people in your 3D reality are going to move away a little bit while they conform to treating you how you now want to be treated. Does that mean that you can't be with that person? Of course not. Does that mean that you have to, you know, not manifest that person back? Of course not. This rubbish that the person that you want to manifest isn't right for the new you, do they not know fucking law of assumption? Because what is law of assumption? It is that everyone and everything must conform to your thoughts and assumptions. So if you are assuming that your specific person is going to treat you like a diamond, that you're in the most, you know, you feel the most love you ever have been, that they love being your boyfriend, husband, girlfriend, wife, that they worship the very ground that you walk on, that they're madly in love with you, that your relationship is stronger than ever, what has to happen? Those things. If your SP is acting like Chewbacca today and they do, you know, something happens in your 3D and now they're ghosting you, as you affirm and persist that your relationship is amazing, they have to conform to that. So this BS needs to go straight in the trash where it belongs, because you can have anything that you want. And that includes your specific person. So this whole mumbo jumbo that it's not right for the new you and it's your Bridget incidents to meet someone new. This isn't, you know, your manifestation or something better. This is, you're the god of your reality. You get what the fuck you want. If you want your specific person, that person belongs to you, period. Hardcore facts, not this BS that I see over here. So you continue to work on you. You continue to work on your self-concept. Know that you're the god of your reality, and you can affirm and persist for your specific person. Them moving temporarily so that they can conform to treat you how you want to be treated, no worries. Just step into your knowing that you're the god of your reality and manifest what you want. But that's what I have to say about that. Where exactly do our desires come from? Your higher self, your God self, whatever you want to call it. When you have a desire, it comes from your God self, means creation is already finished. It's already complete. The shit already belongs to you. You just need to become the version of you that has what you want. Hi, Flossie. I'm trying to wrap my mind around this. Why would I have a desire to be with or change someone after discovering criminal or behavioral issues, especially when my family thinks poorly of them? They're confused why their God self would have such a desire, and they feel like recreating might be hard to do knowing the person has these problems way before meeting them. So they struggle because of this, and it's causing them to question their God self, and they feel stuck. So as I was just saying, when you have a desire, it comes from your higher self, it comes from your God self. I don't know where you were in lines to when you've met this specific person, but usually when you meet somebody, you and your specific person are a lot of times your best selves, and it's through getting to know that person and then having all your assumptions that you have about people, relationships being cast upon them, they conform to that. So you can meet somebody, it's going amazing, and then your assumptions that any man I like is a loser, any man I like has behavioral problems, all men have behavioral problems, you know, I like bad boys and they're always in trouble. That is what they're going to conform to, because that's how manifestation works. If you have that, you're going to manifest that a person who has had that, okay? Having said that, your God self knows, because remember, everyone is you pushed out. We're basically all each other. We're all one. It depends how you want to look at it. But as everyone being you pushed out, and your higher self, what it knows, your higher self knows your specific person at their core and who they truly are. And they know, your higher self knows that your specific person can be the way that you want them to be. So you probably fell in love with somebody, you have that desire, you fell in love with them, and you still desire to be with them because now you have the knowing that you can have them be how you want them. So hard to recreate somebody. Don't have the assumption that recreating someone is hard to do. Take out a sheet of paper, write all the things that you want to have in your relationship about them, and then affirm that they're perfection and that they're thriving, and that everyone, like I said earlier, everyone improves our relationship. Everyone's happy we're together. You can have your specific person be any way that you want. It's up to you to have them conform to your thoughts and assumptions. But desires come from our God self, and our God self knows how the people are in our reality at their core. We're all God consciousness here having a human experience, and we can literally have anybody that we want, period. How to keep momentum up when getting major birds before land What if we aren't sure we even want an original SP, even though I know I created the old story? I'm back and forth between it's done and I still want it. Bird is telling everyone I'm his wife. You got to remember what a bird is, okay? A bird is a partial manifestation, which means obviously your manifestation is exceptionally close to conforming. If you're not sure if you want your original SP, affirm for clarity. You don't have to keep going after your original SP if you don't want to, but I would affirm for clarity so that I know exactly what I want. You know, get clear on what you want. Affirm for clarity. If you want this new person and you're feeling like they're amazing, go after this new person. But basically, it's a partial manifestation. You can have your specific person if you want. Last week, I dreamt of my SP 3 times, but my question is, a couple of the dreams weren't great. Since I make the rules, do you agree that I assume regardless of the dreams I have my SP and all dreams are good dreams? Positive confirmation, my shit's coming to me. If you want, you assign the meaning to everything. Assign meanings that work for you. You can assign that meaning if you want. You can also assign the meaning. I mean, a lot of times when I have dreams that aren't in line with what I'm manifesting, my dream is I'm purging out old bullshit, which means that my shit is coming because my subconscious is changing. So if you want to have that assumption, go right ahead. How to manifest in a time crunch to get an apology for my SP. This time is already gone. I felt it. I was waiting for it. How should I affirm successfully on time? Less important things are happening really fast. Last few, even in seconds. I don't recommend affirming for an apology. You can if you want, but a lot of times that keeps you in the old story and it reaffirms you're not together. Do you want to keep reaffirming that you're not together? Because why would you be affirming for an apology? I mean, that's how I see it. I don't know if you're together or not from this. But if you're not together and you're reaffirming if you're affirming for apology, you're to me reaffirming, blah. You're reaffirming that you're not together. And I personally wouldn't do that. I don't bother to really affirm for apologies for the most part, unless I just have the assumption that if I'm doing an apology that I get it. Everyone apologizes to me. If I always get apologies that I'm due. There's ways that you can word that, but that's literally what I would do. The next question, in my case, I didn't create a third party. My SP was in a relationship with that girl for past 5 years and I came in, so now I can remove that girl from my relation. Please answer, can I remove a third party who has a relation with my SP before me? What if the third party was there before and SP seems in love with them? You can have anybody that you want. If you are affirming and persisting for a relationship with your specific person, that is like spraying a third party with bitch begone spray, because whoever has to move will move for you to get your manifestation. If you're affirming that you're in a healthy, loving relationship with your specific person, that third party's got to go. So spray her like a wasp with your affirmations and she will move. That's what I always say about third parties. Now I have a ton of general questions that I'm going to try to fly through like Batman in the night. Weight loss before Christmas, SP before Christmas. One person's been affirming for their SP for a long time. Car by Christmas, uncle doesn't want to buy. If you want anything by Christmas, you can do several things. You can affirm, I am so happy that I was my perfect weight by Christmas. I would make it as if it's already happened. I am so happy that my SP and I had such an amazing Christmas together. I absolutely love my new car that I got for Christmas, period. I would affirm things like that. You can use a telephone technique where you hear a voice of someone that you trust, like your best friend, whatever, literally congratulating you. Oh my gosh, on Christmas, you looked so skinny. You must be so happy. You'd pair it back. Of course, I'm so happy. I look so skinny on Christmas. And you would loop that for several minutes, 2 to 4 times a day for, every day if you want. I would do it for a while till I had my manifestation personally. SP before Christmas or whatever. Same thing. Best friend is like, oh my gosh, I heard that you and so-and-so had an amazing Christmas together. You must have been so thrilled. Yes, I was so thrilled that we had a blah, blah, blah. Same thing. Car. Your best friend's congratulating you. Oh my gosh, I heard that you got a brand new car. You must be so excited. Yes, I was so excited to get a brand new car for Christmas. And you're going to loop that. Telephone technique. Love it. What do you do when you decide to manifest by a specific date and it's already passed? You keep affirming or let it go. I'd affirm like I already had it. If I was affirming that I had something by my birthday and I didn't get it, I would be affirming, I'm so happy that I got XYZ by my birthday, and I would keep affirming it. I would affirm it like I already had it. I would keep going with it. It's up to you if you want to change the date. Remember, some people with time crunches, if they put so much pressure on themselves to have it by that date, that they actually create more anxiety and resistance around the manifestation. I don't necessarily recommend time crunches to people. Like, you've got to evaluate, is it making you more anxious or not? If it's making you more anxious, unless it's something that's like more on the urgent end, I just say affirm and persist like you have it now without adding a date. manifesting certain folks, but they end up not being what we really wanted. If you're manifesting something and someone showed up and they aren't how you want them, they probably showed up based on your thoughts and assumptions about them or about that type of person. We have a lot of different thoughts and assumptions that we have formed, and people are going to comply to those rules. Like, for example, if you have the assumption that all men are jerks and you manifest a man into your life as a friend, a romantic partner, whatever, and then they're a jerk to you, they're just fulfilling the assumption that you have that all men are jerks. So you have to look at what, were they immediately not the way that you liked them? Because sometimes you'll manifest somebody and then you look at them because they'll do something and then you're thinking to yourself, wow, that person's stupid. And then every time you see them, they appear to be more unintelligent because you keep thinking that they're stupid, or if they do something and you're like, they're a jerk, and every time you see them you think, wow, they're a jerk, guess what? They're going to become more of a jerk. You can turn the dude from 50 Shades of Grey into Chewbacca by constantly seeing them as Chewbacca. That's how they got to be Chewbaccas in the first place. Period. I got a couple people that commented on this type of question. When I manifest a small thing, for example, text message, I find myself saying it would have happened anyway. It's just a coincidence. This is not evidence that my manifestations are working. I always feel the real evidence in manifestation is in the big desires. And then another person had commented, what is the best way to overcome the nagging little thought in the back of your head that says things like it was just a coincidence, or you're being delusional that you can manifest things, even with the constant affirmations, working on subconscious and listening to subliminals. Everything essentially is a manifestation. I posted a success story today where I shared that I manifested getting a Christmas tree. I wanted a Christmas tree. I wanted to get one with zero effort. Why? Because I'm too lazy to get one. I didn't want to bother family to take a truck to go get a Christmas tree. Plus, I didn't want to deal with it. I had a handyman who I use all the time. He was over to put up my exterior lights over the weekend. He comes over today unexpectedly with what? A Christmas tree as a gift. I literally got that manifestation. Coincidence? Because he noticed that I didn't have a tree and I was like, yeah, I'm going to get one here in the next few days. No, he obviously saw it when he was here. But the thing is that even if someone sees that I don't have a tree, but they go out and get it because I'm thinking I want one with no effort, not affirming for it even, but just the thought that I don't want to have to deal with it, they show up with it, that's a manifestation. We are taught and have been taught that there is a coincidence. There actually is no such thing as a coincidence. It is all manifestation. We just have used the label coincidence because our logical minds, our teeny weeny human brains, couldn't possibly fathom that manifestation is actually why we got it. Like, you think of a friend, they call you, oh, that's a coincidence. You want something and it shows up, oh, coincidence. You think about someone texting you, they text you, oh, that was a coincidence. No, it was the explanation that all these people who are asleep came up with in order to explain why you get what you want. And it seems to be like out of thin air. Well, that must have been a coincidence that I show up at a busy restaurant and there literally was a table just for me like I wanted, or there was a parking spot. Like, my kids and I went out to a fancy smancy restaurant that's expensive as fuck one of the last times that they were here. And I'm telling you straight up, I wanted a window seat. We got a window seat. It's not like everybody gets a window seat at this restaurant where you have an amazing view. So, but we don't see those as manifestations because we're not taught to. You have to start learning to recognize that what you experience is literally manifestation and not coincidences. You shouldn't have to manifest what you see as a big thing to prove to yourself that you're the operant power of your reality. You can make a list and have varied things on those lists and write them down as they show up. You have to start seeing your coincidences as manifestations, because that's what they are. If there's times I wanted to go do something else instead of having the handyman come over and he's called and canceled, or I wanted him to come later and he called and said he was coming later. Why? Because that's the way I wanted it to be. And I got that. That's not a coincidence that I wanted that and that was the way it turned out. No, I manifested getting that. I manifested getting the Christmas tree. Period. The manifestations don't have to be large, like $1 million, for you to realize that you manifest. Because if you keep telling yourself, I'm not going to believe in it until I get something big, you're not going to continue to believe in it. And then are you going to actually manifest what it is that you actually want? So You're not being delusional because you are thinking you can manifest things. You will prove that to yourself time and time again. I think everybody goes through a phase where they wonder if they're being delusional. You are not being delusional. You're the operant power of your reality. Everyone and everything must conform to your thoughts and assumptions. And as you experience that more and more, you realize you're not delusional. I was not delusional when I jokingly said that I'd have someone to my house on a day down to the minute, and they showed up then in a 60-second window. No, manifestation, manifestation, manifestation. Facts. I want to completely manifest my desired life in every aspect within it. How can I believe this is possible in a short amount of time? I want to fully turn my life around. When people want to basically manifest whatever it is that they want, and they want to be able to do it quickly, I tell you, you affirm the assumptions. I'm a master at manifesting. I don't care if I'm a master at manifesting. I'm the guru of conscious creation. It is shown to me daily I'm the most powerful manifester that's ever existed on the face of this planet. I don't care if you affirm that, and then you affirm something that boils down to that you always get what you want. I always get what I want. I get my shit hella quick. My desires manifest quickly and easily. And then you affirm something like, everything always works out for me. Everything always works out in my favor. Everything in my life is always fucking perfect. If you form those three things, you will find that your life is always working out for you. You're always getting what you want, and that you're fucking master manifesting. And that is how you create your desired life and turn everything around, because everything is just going to seem like miraculously working out for you. That literally is how it is for me now in my 3D reality. It always seems like things are working out for me. No matter what, no matter how shitty the circumstances seem like, I always end up winning. I would also say work on your self-concept. If you want your desired life, you are the man or woman who has it all. Everyone loves you. Everyone treats you with respect. You feel more loved than you ever have been. You are the very definition of wealth and abundance. Like, create self-concept affirmation statements that are like I am based, or at least how everyone's treating you, that are not on a person in particular. They're general. And you form your self-concept around that, because I am wealthy. I am rich. I am a multi-millionaire. I'm the very definition of wealth and abundance. That's all about money, but that is self-concept, because they're I am statements. I'm absolutely beautiful. I am perfection. I have the perfect body. I have the perfect health. I am, my body, absolute perfection. I am absolute perfection. To me, that's still self-concept. I'm an amazing wife. I'm an amazing girlfriend. I feel more loved than I ever have been. Everyone loves me. Self-concept. So you start affirming for your self-concept, and the things around you would change, and they change faster when you have the assumptions that you are literally master manifesting. You always get what you want, and everything always works out for you. What do you do if you're trying to manifest something and someone else gets it? I've been trying to manifest an iPhone, and I keep seeing everyone around me get a new phone. Birds, partial manifestations. It means that your shit is coming in. Keep going. Keep continuing to affirm and persist in getting the iPhone. Does the subconscious understand words like no, not, cannot, never? I believe for the purpose of your question, the answer is yes. And I'm going to say why, because we think in pictures, and it's what things implies to you. So if I'm affirming I'm never sick, that to me means I'm healthy. I'm never sick means I'm healthy as fuck. So if I, to me, have the, if it implies to me that I'm never ill, like I'm always healthy, I'm going to see a picture in my mind somewhere of being healthy, and that's what I'm going to experience. I don't like to affirm things because someone else says, can we affirm what we don't want? I don't like putting attention on what we don't want, because you can form pictures that that's the way that you are. Like if you're like, I don't want to be fat, and you're sitting there picturing yourself as fat, what do you think that you're going to possibly end up looking like? Unless, of course, you form the rule in your 3D reality that you can affirm what you don't want, and that's going to help it turns out. But I try to affirm more for what I do want, because what I do want is going to negate what I don't want. If I want to be rich, that is going to negate me being poor. I don't need to affirm I don't want to be poor, because I'm affirming I'm rich, and that's what I'm going to be. But the no, not, cannot, never, it's literally what it implies to you. And so think about what it implies to you. If it makes you be too focused on what you don't want to experience, I wouldn't use it. And I would find a positive way to say that. And you can even, like, some people are like, well, I've never had cancer. I would affirm something like, my body has always been in, physically amazing shape, or my body's always been healthy. I have always felt amazing. I would affirm things like that. Is affirming as much as possible helps reprogram my subconscious mind and manifest faster? Yes, but you still have to keep a clean mental diet. But I wouldn't turn the affirming into being obsessive. You have to remember that this is literally a lifestyle. Yes, if you are affirming and you affirm multiple times a day throughout the day, you're going to have the repetitive thought more often, and it is that repetitive thought that is going to change your thoughts and assumptions about whatever the topic is, so it would make it go faster. But you can't affirm for 3 hours a day and then spend 9 hours a day thinking shit that needs to go in the trash, that is having, a mental diet that's not good. So it literally is a balance of thinking thoughts in line with your manifestation and affirming for it, and then starting to embody the version of you that has it. Because if you're manifesting money and you're thinking that you're broke all the time, even though you affirm for an hour a day that you're rich, but all the rest of the time you're thinking that you're broke, you are still going to be broke. But if you embody the mindset that you have hella money, and anytime you see something, even if you don't have the money for it, you're like, I can easily afford that. I have more than enough money. I'm hella fucking rich. I feel rich as fuck. You're going to get there faster than someone who just affirms and then lets their mental diet go to crap. Do you have any tips in appearance change while trying to gain self-love and acceptance for yourself? You're talking about that you don't feel like you can manifest the appearance change and acceptance of yourself at the same time, because if you accept yourself, how can you change your appearance? Like if you have brown eyes and you want blue, but you're affirming you accept yourself, I accept and love myself for the way I am. Is it possible for me to get blue eyes because you feel like you're accepting that? You can fully love and accept yourself and still manifest what you want. Just because you love and accept yourself, and even if you like accept how, yourself the way you are, sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. Even if you accept yourself the way that you are, love and acceptance of yourself doesn't mean that you can't change. Do you think that if someone loves and accepts himself, that means that they may never pursue a higher degree or choose to get in manifest a different relationship or manifest a different job or manifest losing weight or maybe even manifest having different colored things? Of course they can. Loving and accepting yourself does not mean that you can't still continue to change an appearance. And it doesn't mean that just because you accept the way that you are, that you can't end up going from brown eyes to blue eyes. In fact, I would actually argue that loving and accepting the way that you are is going to release the resistance that you would have from, wanting blue eyes versus brown. Because if you accept yourself, you're going to be okay with who you are at your core. And you're not going to have that resistance of, I don't love myself because my eyes aren't blue. Do you see what I'm saying here? So if you actually are loving and accepting yourself and you're affirming that you love and accept yourself the way that you are, you can still do your appearance changes. I wouldn't have the assumption that I couldn't change my appearance just because I love and accept myself the way I am. My assumption would be I have zero resistance to changing my appearance because I already love and accept myself. If I want to enhance something about myself, there's nothing wrong with enhancing something about you or making a change for something that you would prefer more, because you still accept yourself the way that you are. You just prefer something a little different. It's not that you hate yourself, right? Right. Does your root chakra have to be open to manifest money? This is your reality. If you want to put the power in a root chakra that has to be open for you to manifest money, you can. But in my reality, I could give a shit about that, to be honest. In my reality, there is no root chakra that has power over me that makes it to where I can't get what I want, period. Because I don't even put that in anything in my reality. Is there such thing as the one meant for us or a divine counterpart? If you subscribe to that, if that is your assumption, it's going to appear that way to you. But if you have a desire, it comes from your God self. And that person, if you actually want a relationship with somebody, you're going to have a good relationship with that person if that's what your assumption is. If you assume someone is your soulmate, then they're going to be your soulmate in your reality. But some people subscribe to that and some don't. It's literally what you assume. That's what your 3D reality is all about. It's literally made up of your thoughts and assumptions. If some people subscribe to twin flames, it's going to seem that way in their reality. Why? Because that's their assumption of people. If they subscribe to soulmates, same thing. What do you do when you're having a relationship with your SP, but old crappy memories keep coming up? Write the FU letter that I talked about earlier, that I'm not going to go over because I've already talked about, but write the FU letter that I'm pretty sure I already talked about, and that really helps. Do EFT to tap out that emotion. But old crappy memories are usually because you have an emotional charge, and writing the FU letter will help to reduce that. Do self-hypnosis techniques allow you to get into sats quicker or more efficiently? I would say yes. If you know how to do self-hypnosis and you're able to step yourself down into a relaxed state to where you get, that puts you into sats quicker. That's, essentially sats is very similar to being in a self-done hypnotic state. I've learned how to do that. I can easily step myself down, and that's basically what stats is. If you switch states, do you lose everything you had in that state? No, because everything is a state. I am a blonde female with green eyes. That can be considered a state because that's my appearance. This is the state of my appearance. If you are wealthy, you embody the state of wealth. If you are wealthy and married, you embody the state of being a wealthy wife. You do not lose the things that you have from the other state. It just basically adds to it, because it's not like you can't, if you're embodying the person who feels more love than they ever have been, it's an amazing relationship. There's no rule saying that you can't also have money, be rich as fuck, and be traveling the world. So you will embody all those states. Okay, Flossie, I'm manifesting 2 things for Christmas. My proposal from SP and $500,000. How do I get in the state of already having them both without getting burnt out from too many affirmations at once? What's a good blanket affirmation rampage for the both? Firstly, I would do what I said before. If you're affirming and you have the assumption you're master manifesting, you always get what you want, everything always works out for you, you get your shit quicker. That's just my opinion. That is how I've experienced in my 3D reality. Number 2, you can literally affirm, I have everything I've ever wanted, or I have everything on my list. I am so excited and grateful to be married to be married to such an amazing man and be wealthy as fuck. Like, you can come up with one statement that embodies both of them, or have just a couple of statements. If you're affirming for your self-concept, I'm wealthy, I'm rich as fuck, I'm the very definition of wealth and abundance, you're affirming for money. If you're affirming that, you know, you're an amazing wife and you feel more loved than you ever have been, you're affirming for being the person who has that, being a wife and feeling loved by somebody. That's literally what I honestly would do. Is I just would affirm that I'm so happy that I'm the woman who has it all. I have everything on my list. I have everything I ever wanted. I am so excited that I'm engaged to my SP, and I also have so much money. Like, you can create sentences that go together. You don't have to necessarily affirm 500,000 things. Well, yeah, 500,000, haha. For both. And I usually don't do a specific amount of money, because you can say I'm so happy I have more than $500,000, or, you know, you can affirm like you're so happy that you have more than $500,000. I don't do an exact amount of money, because what if it's $600,000? What if it's $490,000? Are you going to be upset if you're like $10,000 away from 500? No. So I just would say over. That way you can allow different amounts of money to come to you. Hello from Jamaica. How can I manifest my SP to pay back a loan I gave him? I manifested him easily and become triggered with old story right away. Around the second time I loaned him the money, now he is missing in action, blocked and ghosted me. I would have generalized affirmations that I always get paid money I'm owed. Every time someone borrows money from me, they immediately pay me back. And then I would affirm, I am so happy, I am so relieved, whatever it is that how you think you would feel, that so-and-so paid me back my money so quickly. And I literally would affirm and stick to that. It made it seem like it's already happened. You were so happy, relieved, you felt so peaceful to get that money back, but they've already paid you back, period. When writing out your old story, does it manifest because it's scripting? I really want to be wrong in this one. I don't recommend repeatedly writing out your old story. If you're writing it out because it's an FU letter and you're burning it, or if you're writing it out because you want to see like what has happened so that you can come up with an affirmation that would indicate the opposite to you, that's fine, because, you know, you're not sitting there scripting it out. I personally would not keep myself stuck in an old story by scripting it repeatedly all the time, multiple times. If I need to write a FU letter about something, I do and burn it. The intention is I'm getting rid of any emotion around that situation, and so I don't believe that it keeps me stuck in any old story. If I'm looking for a different affirmation and I write out something and I get an affirmation from it, I'm not repeatedly writing it out every single day. Hi, is it possible when listening to affirmation recordings using my own voice, the subconscious grows accustomed to the recordings and mistakes it with white noise and doesn't absorb the affirmations, or does it depend on my assumption? You're asking because you started listening to recordings and then you didn't sleep well, had opposing dreams, but now you sleep peacefully and wake up that way and you barely have any dreams about manifestation, only neutral dreams. So you're wondering if your subconscious is accepting the affirmations. It's accepting the affirmations. What happened is that sometimes when people start listening to affirmations or subliminals or anything like that, there are times with some people that they feel like they have a little bit of purging going on as the old thoughts are leaving. Sometimes that can be in having negative dreams. Sometimes that can be in like crying a little bit or just having a handful more negative thoughts or whatever. Doesn't happen to everybody. Does happen to some people. So what happened at first is you were purging out your old thoughts and assumptions. That's my assumption about what you're telling. And then when you started sleeping better, it was because your mind is starting to accept those affirmations. Not that it's white noise, not that it's not listening anymore. It's accepting those affirmations and it's starting to change your thoughts and assumptions around those topics. As far as having neutral dreams, you assign whatever meanings work for you. There isn't necessarily anything wrong in my reality about having neutral dreams, period. I would say your subconscious is accepting what you've been listening to, that your thoughts and assumptions are starting to change. And I would assign the meaning that means that I got my manifestations and I have it now. I've heard some LOA coaches say that affirming alone won't get us our manifestations desires unless our inner state feels like we already have it. Is it true? Because not everyone is able to feel like it's already done. I think that you don't get your manifestations until your dominant thought about that manifestation is in line with your manifestation, or it's something that you think and you don't really have any resistance to it and it just shows up. Like when I manifested someone coming to my house down to the minute, it was said as a joke. I didn't have any resistance to it. I didn't expect it to show up. I didn't feel that it was going to happen. I didn't think from the end and have all this thoughts about it. It was a joke. It was mentioned a couple times and it happened within like an hour window. Now, as far as the actual time that person came, the date, that's another story, but they still came on the day I said. Anyway, I don't feel like it's that you have to be sitting and, there are a lot of coaches who have said that you may not believe your manifestation until it actually shows up, until you see it, as far as that you're going to get it. But what you do is you think from the reality where you have it. So if you want to be in a relationship with your specific person, you're going to think things. I feel more loved than I ever have been. I'm an amazing girlfriend. I'm an amazing wife. I am so happy that my relationship with so-and-so is so perfect, or I'm so happy being in a relationship with so-and-so. You're going to affirm and persist in things like that. And as your thoughts and assumptions change, your 3D reality is going to conform. But it's not because you're sitting there acting and feeling like it's true. Now, some people do that. There are some people who will sit there and totally act like they're married to their specific person in their house and do whatever. If people want to do that, no worries. There isn't anything saying that you can't do that. But there are a lot of manifestations that I've received that I didn't affirm for. I didn't sit there and feel like I was going to have it. They showed up like the Christmas tree. Having said that, there are manifestations that I've received that I've literally thought, well, this is mine, it belongs to me. And then I didn't really affirm and persist for it. But at the same time, if I got it or not, I was like, I'm the God in my reality. I get money from all sources, all directions. I recently just got a scholarship for $2,000. When I applied for it, I'm like, this shit belongs to me. And I didn't have anything really to do about it. I only thought about it a couple times. When I thought of the scholarship, which was rarely, I would think, well, it's mine. I'll get a scholarship. I've gotten them before, period. So there you go. Got $2,000 out of the blue from all sources. I consider it out of the blue because I didn't even know what day they would give it. So anyway, I don't think that you have to feel like it's have this strong feeling it's already done. I do recommend though, starting to have the knowing that you're a master manifesting, you always get what you want, everything works out for you. I think that is kind of a blanket that you can do to where you don't have to feel like every single manifestation is absolutely already done and it belongs to you. I think that you can just form the assumption that when you have a desire comes from your God self, creation is already finished. And I'm going to embody the person who has that, period. Because I'm a master at manifesting, I always get what I want. Do you see where I'm going with that? What are the best self-concept affirmations to manifest, revise, health restorations, and physical appearance improvements? My body is absolute perfection. I have always felt amazing. My body is completely healed. My body is fully restored. I'm the most beautiful woman on the face of this planet. I have perfect XYZ. If you're affirming your body is perfection, you've always felt amazing, you feel amazing, that your body's fully healed and restored, I think that is good enough for that. If you're dealing with a whole list of medical issues and need healing, is it better to affirm for all of them individually or do blanket affirmations? What's more effective? I personally would affirm that my body's fully healed and I feel amazing. My body's fully restored. I'm affirming to pay cash for a house I found. I have a realtor, know the house. I can make an offer as soon as I have the money. Everybody's waiting on me. I'm affirming I own my own house to move in this week and have the best Christmas ever. In the 3D, I don't have a job or money even for present or a house. What should I be affirming or doing? Continue doing what you're doing. Maybe add the telephone technique where someone's congratulating you on your new house purchase. You can hear the voice of a trusted friend literally being like, oh my gosh, I heard that you moved into a beautiful brand new house. You must be so ecstatic. Well, yes, I'm ecstatic. I moved in my beautiful new house. And you're going to loop that multiple times a day. And since you're on the time crunch, I would do it more frequently. I would just be thinking that I'm moving in my house. I was so excited. It was so easy to get my new house. It was so easy for me to move. I wouldn't be focusing on that you don't have a money or you don't have a job, because that keeps you in the position of lack and thinking about not having your house. I would stay focused on having it, that it was so easy to get it, and I'd hear people congratulating me on it. And that's exactly what I would do. So those were the questions for this week. This is going to be hella long. I think it's literally going to be over 40 minutes. So if you want, check out the SP course, the one-on-one coaching. Nikki has her manifestation evaluations. As usual, I will make a post in the near future so we can have another Spill Into the Tea Tuesday. You are operating powers of your reality. You can be, do, have anything that you want. Affirm, persist, and get your fucking shit, period. See you soon.